Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition Days of Decision 3 combined game playthrough. This will begin 1942. It'll be the January-February turn. Should be pretty interesting turn, depending on what the weather is, of course. If the weather's really bad, then it'll be a really short turn. If not, well, it could get kind of long. There should be some naval activity anyways. Before we get started, I want to quickly go over U.S. entry. Last episode I kind of explained how U.S. entry works. So the new numbers for U.S. entry is Germany's raw total is 148 and the U.S. entry total is 63.5. Italy's raw total is 61 and their U.S. entry is 20. And Japan's raw total is 83 and their U.S. entry total is 31. Now the German and Japanese U.S. entries went down slightly and the Italian U.S. entry went up slightly, and that was due to a lot of activity on the part of the Western democracies, or the democracies, signing treaties and doing various other things that cause entry levels to build up under their own major powers. For example, the Commonwealth's U.S. entry went from 56 to 63 over the last turn, so they had quite a bit of activity going on. Also, the war with democracies rolls for the Germans and the Japanese were really low, and for the for the Germans and the Italians were really low, and for the Japanese was kind of high. So that caused the Japanese U.S. entry to move up a little bit. Those rolls, the war with democracies, those rolls are just going to get worse and worse. The fascist powers know that that's going to get worse and worse. Their strategy all along has been to try to keep the United States out of the war as long as possible. Well, yeah, granted, they do know what the U.S. entry levels are, but I mean, under the Days of Decision 3 U.S. entry level, U.S. entry rules, it's really public information because anybody can keep track of it. I mean, you know what the numbers are, you just have to keep track of it, that's all. So we just, I played this game, we just made it public information because it's, you know, just save everybody a little bit of a hassle. Okay, so let's dive right into the turn. Let's go and take a look at starting money for the major powers. I'm going to do it right here in Russia. All right, starting money. We have Germany at 0, Japan at 1, Italy at 2, the Soviet Union at 4, the Commonwealth is at -6, the USA is at -9, China is at 0, and Free France is at -7. That is the starting money for the major powers. I just want to make a correction. It was a few turns ago, I believe, the U.S. signed a level 3 treaty with the Commonwealth. Well, they can't do that. They're not at war. They can't sign a level 3 treaty with anybody. So what I did is I converted it to a Commonwealth level 2 treaty with the Soviet Union. The U.S. entry and the minor effects is really, it's minor, really small. I mean, it really doesn't make any difference at all, really. So I just kind of went with that, just left things the way they were, and just moved on. But I just wanted to add that correction to the game. Some of you would keep track. You would know that if you went through the rules for Days of Decision 3, you find that there's a specific rule in there that says the U.S. cannot have level 3 treaties with anybody until they're at war. And since they're not at war, they can't have a level 3 treaty. So I just basically corrected that by converting that treaty from Commonwealth to USA to Commonwealth to Soviet Union. So it kind of works out the same. All right, let's go take and look and see what the major powers are bidding for this turn. We'll take a look at the political initiative track. Get everything in view here. All right. Last turn, if you recall, there were a lot of major powers that did bonus bid points. In fact, let me grab my notes. Let me get my notes. Okay, I got my notes right here. We had major powers that did increased bid points. We had Germany, we had the Commonwealth, we had the Soviet Union, and we had Japan, all doing increased bid points. So knowing that, most of the major powers are not really going to bid all that much because it's really hard to overcome something like Germany's increased bid points, which would be twice their political effectiveness, which is 7, which gives them a plus 14. So for a major power like Italy or the US to overcome something like that would be just, they would have to spend everything they have, and they just don't. As you can see, a lot of the starting money is kind of minimal, to say the least. Okay, let's see what we got. So we got Germany bidding 1, the Commonwealth bidding 1, the Soviet Union bidding 1, Japan bidding 1, the US did bid 3, Italy bid 1, and Free France bid 1. Let's see how this shakes out. So Germany bid 1. They got 14 bonus bid points. Gives them 15. For their first place position, gives another 4. 19. That's going to put them in first. The Commonwealth bid 1. They have plus 14 for bonus bid points because they have the same political effectiveness as the Germans do, which is 7. So that's 15. Their fourth place position gives them a plus 2. That's 17th. That's going to be put them 17. That's going to put them in 2. The Soviet Union bid 1. Okay. They have a political effectiveness of 5, so they get 10 bonus bid points. That's 11. Their current position of 6 gives them a plus 1. That's 12. That's good enough to give them third place. The Japanese bid 1. They also got bonus bid points. Their current political effectiveness is 4. That gives them a plus 8. Their current position is 7th. That will be plus 9. Plus the 1 is 10. That's good enough to put them in 4th. The USA bid 3. Okay. They're in 5th position. They get a plus 2. That gives them 5 points. That'll get them 5th. Italy bid 1. They have a plus 3 for 4. And Free France bid 1. They have a plus 3 for 4. They're both currently sitting at 3 for political effectiveness. So the tie is broken by the current order. So the Italians will be 6th and the French will be 7th. And the last card marker goes all the way down to the 7th position from the 1st position. All right. Let's go over to the Indian Ocean and see who's going to do what. All right. This is going to kind of end up like almost like a broken record, because most major powers can gear up this turn, and so the Germans are going to be doing gear up. They are fascists, and the current year is a year that they can gear up for the current costs. There we go. The U.S. entry is going to be, this is 1942. The U.S. entry is going to be 5. Minus 1 for the Neutrality Act will be a 4. So I'll record that. I'll put the minor markers out, and we'll come back with Germany activating minor. Okay, Germany has decided they're going to activate Norway. It's a minus 1. So that marker will just get blown off. We don't even need to go over to the status display, excuse me, because that will actually not move the marker any amount of space at all, because it takes at least 2 to move a hex. All right, so we move down to the Commonwealth. No need to roll to end the political phase because there's a +1 to the die, and you can't get a 1 when there's a +1 to the die. Okay, so Commonwealth is going to gear up. Excuse me. Cost is 10. The current year is greater than or equal to the year specified on the PM track. They meet that one. So they're all set with that. And that's it. So I'm going to put the markers out, record the US entry, which again will be a +4. Can't quite see it. It's way over here. US entry is a +5, which is -1 because of the Neutrality Act, will be a +4. Alright, so I'll be back in a second with the Commonwealth activating a miner. And we're back. And the Commonwealth's got her eye on Norway too. So she's going to activate Norway, get rid of that -1. Drag that out of there. No need to go to the status display again. And we'll come back over here. We'll real quickly roll to see if the political phase ends. We have a +1 for the number of major powers at war, and a -1 for one previous political option played. So it's a straight up 1. And rolled a nice big fat 10. We're going to keep right on going. We will move down. We will now do the Soviet Union. And let's see, what are they going to do? Oh, they're going to gear up too. All right, so U.S. entry for the Soviets is also a 6, so that's going to be a 5 for the Soviets. I will put out the minor country markers and be right back with the Soviets activating a miner. Alright, okay, we're back, and it's time for the Soviets to activate a miner somewheres, and I think we're just going to let's just keep going on a roll here. We're going to activate Norway. Norway doesn't seem to like anybody gearing up. They all give them -1s. Now we'll come back over to the Indian Ocean. We'll roll to see if the political phase ends. And we got a 6. The roll needed was a 2. There are 3 previous political options played. And that's a minus. No, it's 2 previous political options. That's a -2 +1. We would have needed a 1 or a 2. So on to Japan we go. Alright, Japan. Let's see, what's Japan going to do? Oh, I know. Gear up. U.S. entry for Japan, however, is a 7. So it's a lot higher than some of the other ones. And I will put the markers out and come back and activate a miner, I guess. Back in a sec. Okay, Japan's going to activate Argentina. They might have some designs on Argentina sometime soon. I don't quite really know, but they're going to try to get rid of their -1, even though it's going to cost the Germans a +1. So it's not going to move the marker anywhere on the status display. Let's take a look at where Argentina is. It's sitting right next to Japan. It would take at least 2 points to move it away from Japan. And it would take at least 2 points to move it towards Germany, so those 1s are going to do nothing. They're just basically blown off. Alright, let's go back over to the Indian Ocean. Let's roll to see if the political phase ends. Let's see, we've had 3 previous political options played, so that's a -3 to the die and a +1 for a number of nations at war. So it's generally a -2. Well, rolled a 9, so I guess we're going to keep on going. The U.S. The U.S. is going to propose a level 2 treaty with the Free French. not going to do anything now. We're going to wait until we get to the Free French. So we're going to just skip over this for now. We'll roll to see if the political phase ends. Let's see, so that would be four previous political options. So this is going to be a -3 to the die. A 2 means the political phase does indeed end. Okay, so clear my throat. So the Italians and the Free French are going to get bonus bid points for next turn. Different than increased bid points. Increased bid points is an option you play. It doubles your political effectiveness and bid points. This is just going to be straight up political effectiveness and bid points. So they're going to get increased bid points. I will come back shortly after I roll weather and initiative, or initiative and then weather. And we'll take a look at that, and then we'll take a look at reinforcements. Back in a second. Okay, the initiative roll came out a 3 for the Communists, which modifies to a 4. A 5 for the Democrats, which modifies to a 4 because of the political initiative modifiers. And a 4 for the Fascists, which modifies to a 6. So the Fascists won the initiative. Having an idea that the weather's probably not going to be too good in January, February, the Fascists decided that they would go last. Even though there are plenty of things they could have done, which going first would have been nice. They really don't want to lose their ideological initiative or have a chance of losing that. I'm going to kind of keep that for summer. So they decided to go last. The Communists and the Democrats hemmed and hawed at 4 each, and they decided, the Communists will go first and followed by the Democrats. The weather roll, however, was a 10. That's just about that is the worst weather roll you can get unmodified. So the impulse marker is going to move up 3, and the weather for this turn is blizzard in the Arctic, blizzard in North Temperate, snow in the Mediterranean, which means it's going to be rain in the desert. North monsoon is clear, storm in South monsoon, and South Temperate is clear. The weather roll will have a +2 for next turn, which means the weather is going to be just as bad next turn. Let's go over and take a look at the reinforcements for this turn. We do have quite a bit of reinforcements. All right. Let's see. I think that's probably better like this. All right. So the Germans have a U-boat going in the construction pool. Type 2D, not really that great. They have 2 U-boats coming on the map. A Type 9C 40 and a Type 7C Milchow. Those will go on map. They have an SS Corps, a couple of militia corps, and an SS Mountain Division. All that will go on map. And they also have 2 ships that were repaired, Swedish ships. Okay, the Chinese have a single unit, a mountain corps, mountain army, communists. Oh, no, it's a mountain corps, sorry. The Free French have a transport. That will definitely go on map. They have been waiting for that. The Commonwealth have a territorial going into Egypt. That will be very useful for them. They have 2 tanker points and a 3 convoy points. They have a bunch of ships here that are coming out of the repair pool or were just finished building. Those will all go on map. Those are all needed very badly, especially how the naval issues have been going for the Commonwealth the last 2 or 3 turns. They have a couple of ships going in the construction pool. There's a couple of light cruisers. Those will be much appreciated when they get on the map. The Soviet Union has 2 pilots, so we'll add them to the track. wherever it is. There it is. 2 pilots. 2. Oops. They have no planes right now they can put on the map. However, they will be putting on 1, a Siberian Infantry Corps Army. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 infantry armies and a Siberian infantry army. That will all go on map. The Italians have it's like a decent carrier going in the construction pool and a mechanized corps. They like that a lot. The Japanese have a whole bunch of stuff. They have 1 infantry corps going on map. That's an infantry army, sorry. They have a militia unit, 2 carriers. One is the Tahoe, and the other one is the Zuho, as well as a light cruiser, all going on map. They have the battleship Makawa going in the construction pool. They have a couple of light cruisers going in the construction pool. This will be welcome for the Japanese. They also have another transport going in the construction pool. That's good. They have a couple of CAGs. We'll put them in, have decent ones too. Put them in the reserve pool for now. I got 2 German pilots I forgot about. We'll add them to the track. 2 pilots. It's good. They were running out of pilots. Oh, I also have a couple of Soviet. I have a Soviet NKVD. NKVD! No retreat. And 2 Soviet convoy points. For the U.S., we have 3 convoy points. We have a couple of cruisers going on the board somewheres, probably in the Pacific Fleet, I would say. We have some CAGs. We got to look at CAGs and where we can put them and how we can put them. For now, they're going to go in the reserve pool. We have a little carrier going into the construction pool. We have a big carrier, the Lexington II, though the original Lexington hasn't been sunk yet. That's going in the construction pool. We also have a transport going in the construction pool and a heavy cruiser, the Oakland, a light cruiser going in the construction pool. Alright, so I will get these reinforcements on the map and I will be back with the first set of impulses. Okay, so for the first set of impulses, the Democrats did, the Commonwealth did a naval, the U.S. did combined, sent out some ships. The U.S. did, towed into Commonwealth, had some German U-boats during the fascist turn went out. The Commonwealth also decided to patrol the Bay of Biscay. And they sent both the Mediterranean fleet and the home fleet there. Hopefully they can catch the Germans napping, maybe. The Italians did combined, basically, sorry, skipping ahead of myself. Over here in China, the Chinese nationalists didn't do anything. Well, the U.S. is actually sending a Lend-Lease plane all the way down to New Zealand, of all places. Okay, and then we went to the communist turn. As you can see, the Soviet line is starting to shore up a little bit. With this really bad weather, there's not too much the Germans can do. Also down here, the communists, they just moved 1 unit up over here. That was it. Okay, so the communists have 1 attack. El Partisano, Dedo, he's gone. Take back their oil. pretty easy. 1 to 0 is 1,000 billion to 1. The other thing the Democrats did is they brought some reinforcements into Egypt. Also, they landed Gort at Basra, and he railed to Mosul, right there. So they're definitely trying to hold out in the Middle East. Definitely. Like I said, the Italians, all they did was they combined, they moved some units down to Africa, reinforcements. The Germans, we do have a naval action potential over here, so let's go check that out. And there's one potential attack over in China. So we got some subs, we got to roll some dice, see what happens, and let's see. Well, we rolled a 5 for the fascists and a 10 for the Democrats, so basically nobody found anything, so that's the end of that. Over here in the North Monsoon Zone, which happens to be fair weather, we have a ground strike that's escorted and was intercepted. So let's take a look at that and put it up here so we can see. So we got one Japanese bomber, one not so good Japanese fighter, and one not so good Chinese fighter. So it looks like it's 3 to 3, so that's going to be straight up. So the Chinese roll first. Air combat on the 0 column. They get a 10. Double fives. Double fives. 10 on the 0 column is defender clears through any one bomber or any one bomber. So the bomber's going to make it. Well, the Japanese roll back. Let's see, roll up here. Hey, fives all around. So that's that. Both the Japanese and the Chinese will now abort. No sense in getting your fighter killed if you don't have to. I think he was here. So we have a ground strike of 2. Let's see what that does. Oh, it flips him over. Yay! That, by the way, is Nanning. And the bomber is flipped over. He can go back to Canton. We have a 3 to 1 attack, +1. Do I have a headquarters here? No, I don't. But there's a headquarters here. Here. Oh, okay. We're all set. Supply 1, 2. So we're good. There's a port here, so I can supply them. We're good. Everything's good. So 3 to 1 +1. Obviously the Chinese are going to pick the assault table. They want to bleed the Japanese as much as possible. A 6 is a 7. That is 1 and 2. So 1 loss for each. So the Chinese will lose this guy, and the Japanese will lose the division, which is still 2 points. So maybe I should lose the militia instead. Do I have a weak militia? Not really. Yeah, we'll lose the militia. Isn't that funny? And that's not a cadre for the Japanese, but that is a cadre for the Chinese. And they will occupy the Hex, obviously. They definitely want to take Nanning. And what that does is that gives Japan access to that. Can't see it because I'm not. That gives Japan access to this one resource that they captured oh so many turns ago. Now they can actually do something with it. I don't remember where this fighter was. I think he was there. Yeah, he was there. He can go there anyways. So that's the end of the Japanese turn. That's the end of the Axis Impulse. So I will roll weather. Let's go roll weather. Let's see what we get for weather. Oops. Let's throw the die on the floor. Move up the impulse marker. We're already on impulse number 10. And the Democrats' impulse, they will roll weather. Oh, no, actually, this is the communist impulse. Rolling weather, a 6 plus 2 is 8. It's going to be bad. Blizzard, snow, storm, fair, storm, fair. Still moves up 3, still a plus 2 to the weather roll. Alright, so I will be back shortly with the conclusion of the communist impulse. I'll stop if there's any attacks or anything like that happens. And I'll be back probably with the fascist impulse. I don't really think a whole lot's going to... Okay, we're on the Soviet impulse. They have finished moving. They have one attack. This blizzard in the Arctic weather zone. So the odds here are 5 to 1. No air power can fly. No air missions. However, they're reduced by -1 because only by -1 because the Soviets have at least half their units are white print units. So it'll be a 4 to 1 attack. Both sides are going to use HQ benefits. We have Yeremenko, who's a 3, and we have Guderian, who's a 4. So they basically are going to cancel each other out. All right. 4 to 1, no pluses. And this is going to be on the assault table, I think. 4 to 1. If they have either. Okay, yep, it'll be. There's no armor or mechanized. We don't have any tanky poos for the Soviets. Oh, wait a minute. This is an armored HQ. No, it's not. It's an infantry HQ. Alright, so it's going to be 4 to 1. Straight up assault table. And the Soviets roll a 7. On the 4 to 1 chart for 7 is half remain face up. 1 defender killed, the remainder shattered. Well, there's only 1 defender there, so he's dead. The Germans will get a cadre for that because he is next to an HQ. Half the defenders, half the attackers will remain face up. Those 2 are going to remain face up. And I think the 4-4 will remain face up. And that just gave these guys a serious problem. A really serious problem. There could have been another attack here, but they couldn't quite get enough units into the area to attack with at least half white print units. So, there is that. Okay, so there may be a Guards banner unit. I have to check on that. Be back in a second. Okay, I just wanted to show you the Guards banner promotion type thing. So it's got to be like for like. In other words, infantry for infantry, mechanized for mechanized, cav for cav, armor for armor. So we had a bunch of infantry units involved in this combat. We, I don't think militias counted as infantry. I don't know. I don't think so. But anyways, we destroyed a core-sized German unit, which gives us 3 points, I believe. It is 3 points. And you can use that 3 points to promote destroyed, +3. Okay, so we didn't suffer any losses, so we have a +3. So what that means is that this 7-4 Siberian unit, okay, we can promote that with 3 points. We have in our reserve pool a 10-3 Guards Banner Infantry Army. So that will get promoted to that. And that is very nice. We will go on to the Democrat Impulse now. Okay, we have a potential Commonwealth counterattack in the desert. It is storm in the Mediterranean. Let me look that up. Yeah, I didn't realize that's not a desert hex. That's actually a clear hex. So it would be storm there. Yeah, the Commonwealth is going to call that off. They're not going to do that. That would be a very bad attack. So the United States moved out a few more ships. They can have up to 5 ships out patrolling right now. So that's what they got going on. Other than that, the British didn't do anything. The nationalist Chinese are kind of good the way they are. They really can't do much. A lot of the Japanese army is flipped over from that one attack they made. So, all right, we'll move on to the fascists. Okay, the Italians just brought another unit down to Africa. The Germans, they conducted a little bit of a retreat because things are getting out of hand. So it's time to retreat a little bit. No attacks. Blizzard, snow, very bad for Germans to attack in. Alright, and however we do have U-boat action. Potential U-boat action. So first, we got to find out what's going to happen with the search rolls. So let me gather up my dice. And where's that other die? Oh, way over here. Alright, so we are in snow. So I believe that is a +1 to the search rolls. Snow. +1 to search rolls. Alright. +1 to search rolls. Whoa. Oh, that certainly is interesting. We rolled some kind of odd. Let me show you what we got. We got a 1 for the fascists and a 9 for the Democrats. That's not too peachy for the Democrats. So that's going to be 3, 12 for the fascists, and 1. It's going to be 10 surprise points. Actually, I think there's a modifier to that, isn't there? Let me check on that. Okay, I worked out the points. Because of the convoys that are involved, it ends up being a net total of 13 surprise points. This probably might be one of the biggest turns the Germans have for convoy destruction. So there are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 U-boats. And 11 ships for the, there's 11 ships for the Commonwealth, and there are 8 ships for the Germans. We have a total of 21 sub points and 7 ASW. So the 7 ASW is right here. So we're going to use the Germans are going to use 4 surprise points and move them down to the 2 to 3 column. So that's going to be 1 sub damaged. So let's do that right now. The British want to get rid of as many subs as they can. They're going to take one of the 9s, the type 7B. That's a 9. So we roll on it, see if it's damaged. If it's not damaged, it's aborted. Roll the 6. So it is damaged. It will go to the repair pool. Actually, it doesn't go to the repair pool until after all combat. So right now it's damaged. Alright. So that's 2 of the surprise points. That's 4 surprise points out of 13, at least 9. So we got 4 more column shifts. We have 21 sub points. That's right here. We're going to shift to the right 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's this column right here. The Commonwealth has 10 ships, 11 ships. So that's going to be 4 sunk and 1 aborted. Alright, let's go take a look at what this is going to do to the Commonwealth, which is probably not going to be fun. Not going to be fun at all. Alright, back up here a little bit. There we go. So the German player chooses first. He's going to take out 3 convoys. That's those 3. Those will be sunk. If I can get a hold of them. Those are sunk. Now the Commonwealth player, since the American ships are participating here, they're going to choose the New Orleans to be sunk. The German player rolls. If it's 6, 7 or better, it's okay. Well, he rolls a 6. So the New Orleans is sunk. Another American ship sunk. Not good. I'm not quite sure. I think they can participate in combat. It doesn't really specifically say one way or another, but that's the way I'm taking it. Alright, the Germans choose another one to be sunk. They're going to take another 3 convoy points. We'll take 3 tankers. Alright, now the Commonwealth chooses another one. They are going to choose the Milwaukee. That can actually go to the Soviets. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it can be lend-leased to the Soviets. Not too bad. 8 points. Or 8, a 9 or 10 will keep it from getting sunk. Rolls a 7. Down it goes. And that leaves the 3 Commonwealth ships. Oh, and we have 1 aborted. The fascists are going to choose the London to get aborted. That's a 6. Oh, he makes a save, so he's only half aborted. At the end of the round, the half abort goes away, so it doesn't make any difference. Alright, oh, this is half damaged. So the Germans obviously want to continue the Battle of the Atlantic. We'll do new search rolls. Let's see, there's a minus. Oh, we got to count these up. It's 2, 6, 8, 10. So there's a -1 to the search rolls. But there's a +1 for snow. So -1 +1 is a net 0. Nobody found anybody. So that is it for combat. This will be aborted now because it goes back to the damage pool, and that's the end of that. British are very happy to get out of that the way they did, even though they lost 3 convoy points, 3 tanker points, and the Americans lost 2 ships. Alright, I think that is it for the fascists. I have to check the Japanese. Okay, Japan's not going to do anything. They looked at 1 potential attack they could make, but they would need their tactical air power, and it's in the snow zone, which is halved, which wouldn't even get them enough to make a half-decent attack. So they're not going to make an attack. So the fascists will roll to end the turn. They need a 3. We rolled a 5. Turn does not end. We will move up 3. And now the communists need to roll weather. That's a 5, which is a 7. I don't think that's very good. The weather roll is a 7. Snows, okay, so it actually downgraded to snow in the Arctic. Snow in the North Temperate, storms in the Mediterranean. So we got storms in the Mediterranean. Fair north monsoon, storm south monsoon. There's a +1 to the weather rule for next turn. next set of impulse, and the impulse marker still moves up 3. So I will be back with the communists at the conclusion of the communist impulse. Okay, the communists had no attacks. The Democrats shifted, the Americans shifted some more ships out into the North Atlantic and the Faroes Gap. Not really much else happened that I can see at this point. We're going to try the U-boat action again in the Atlantic. Well, let me gather up my dice. I have flipped the U-boat. Let's see what we get. Well, it's not as good for the Germans as it has been, but we got a 1 and a 5. So it's going to be a minus. I don't think there's 10 here. 2, 6, 8. There's exactly 10. So it's a -1. So it's going to be a net 0. So we're going to have a 1 and a 5. So for surprise points, that's going to be 7 surprise points. 7 surprise points. A big difference from the last turn. Big difference from the last turn where they literally got hammered. So let me run the numbers. Okay, I ran all the numbers. We have a total of 7 surprise points for the Germans. There's 8 ASW and 19 sub points. So 8 ASW, we have 7 subs. I forgot to write that down. I have 7 subs. 7 subs. And surface is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. We have 7 ships for 8 ships. Alright, so we have 8 ASW. It's going to be here for 7 subs. There's 1 destroyed. Oh, I'm sorry, it's over here. The 7 is 1 and 3 aborted. We have a total of 7 surprise points. We're going to use 4 of them to shift 2 columns down. 1, 2. So they're going to roll for 1 damaged and 3 aborted. So let's do that right now. Okay, they got a type 7A. They'll roll for a damage on that. And it is definitely damaged. Now there are 3 aborted. I'll do another type 7 for an abort. It's aborted. Another type 7 for an abort. It's aborted. And finally, a type 9C. It's aborted. So 3 ships aborted. So there are 3 ships aborted. 3 subs, rather, aborted. Alright. So that was 4 of my 7 surprise points. I have 19 sub points. That's right here. We use the other one, shift the column up. And there are 8 ships involved. Looks like 2 destroyed. So the Germans will pick 3 convoys, obviously. And the Commonwealth will pick, they'll go with the Leander. That's a heavy cruiser. That's a 6. Hey, he's only just damaged. Good for him. Just damaged. All right, and let's see what else. Okay, yeah. And that's it. That's it. Let's roll for another round. See if anybody finds anybody over there. The Germans don't have a whole lot of subs left. Let's see. Nope. That's a big giant nothing. All right. We'll roll for the fascists ending the turn. They need a 7. The Germans also moved on the ground over there. I'll show you that in a second. Let's see. Oh, the turn continues. All right, we'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back to the communist impulse. It's impulse number 28. Yeah, that's right. We're back to impulse 28. We rolled weather. The weather roll was low. I think it was a 4 or a 3, modified to a 4. So we got snow in the Arctic, storm in North Temperate, and rain in South Monsoon as a +1 to the weather roll for next turn. And we have some Soviet attacks. We got some Soviet attacks. Now snow, I think we might even have some air battles going on here. I think it's a possibility. This hex right here is within 2 hexes of this, and the Germans are going to throw in air support. Alright, now the Soviets, they're going to counter, actually they're going to throw in their own air support first. They're going to throw in that, this, and this. With this escorting fighter, I think that's the only fighter they have. So that's, oh, I got this one. So we got 2 fighters. The 2 fighters, I don't know what good it's gonna, I don't know what it's gonna do, but we're gonna try and wear out some of the German so we got an air battle to start off with. Where's the other fighter? Here he is. Right there. And it's actually pretty even air battle overall. Alright, let's do the air battle. Alright, so the Germans are defending, so they roll first. It is 6 to 5.4. So it's going to be a +1, -1. +1, -1. So Germans roll first on the +1. And they get a 6. A 6. Get a 6. 6 on the +1 is Defender. Defender destroys own front fighter or front bomber. Well, that wasn't cool. So, front fighter, I think we're going to take the bomber. So he's destroyed. Now the Soviets roll. They roll a 12. Let's see what that is on the -1. 12. 12 on the -1 is attacker clears through anyone defending bomber. So the German bomber makes it. He's going to add his ground support, which is going to be a 1.5 because it's snowing. However, we're going to keep going. So the German player will now roll again. And he rolls a halfway decent 15. On the +1, 15 is attacker aborts. Attacker aborts defender's front fighter or front bomber. We're going to abort their front bomber, which is this guy. So he gets aborted. I believe he came from here. Yeah. And then the Soviets roll. They roll a 13. On the -1 column, show you the die roll. There's a 13. On the -1 column is a box. So, no effect. Alright? So now the Germans will abort. They don't need to keep fighting this for no reason. They're happy with having killed one. I think he was here. 1, 2. Yes, he was. And these two guys got to go someplace. 1, 2. I think he was in Tula, and I think he was up by Moscow. I think he was in Moscow, right there. Alright, so now we got to recalculate the odds. Yeah. Because we have 3 additional, a 1.5 rather. So we got 7, 8, we have 9.5. 13 to 27. That's 3 to 1. That's going to be 2 to 1. 2 to 1 with a +1. So, and it's the defender's choice. We're going to take obviously the assault table. 2 to 1 +1. The Soviets are going to roll it. Heck with it. 2 to 1 +1. And we rolled a 2, which is a 3. 2, which is a 3, is 1 attacker dead. Well, that's not exactly the best result, so we're going to kill the Moscow militia, because we know that comes right back, and these guys are all flipped over. That's okay. It costs all of 2 points. 1 point after you get the cadre. Alright, we got another attack down here. We have a 4 to 1. Don't believe I have any armor. Nope, no armor. 4 to 1, straight up. Going to take the assault table. Let's see what happens. Well, roll a 7. Show you that. 7. On the 4 to 1 is half remain face up, 1 attacker destroyed. And that's going to give us another Guards Banner army. It was this guy. He is destroyed. There's no headquarters around him. So I believe he is just plain old dead. Oh, there is a headquarters there. So he will cadre. Alright. And that's going to be 3 points. I'll see what we're going to get for Guards Banner armies. So the 3 points for destroying the fascist unit is going to take this 6-4. The 6-4. And we're going to promote him to a Guards Banner Infantry Corps army of a 9-4. Well, half these units have to flip over, so that's 1, 2, that's 2. That's enough. And we will, I think they're going to occupy the hex. I don't know if that's a good idea, but that's what they're going to do anyways. So that's a promotion. So that will go back in the cup to be rebuilt. And we'll roll to see if the turn is over, which is 99.9%, well, it's 90% likely the turn's over. A 7 ends the turn. Alright, I'm going to be back after I clean everything up with production. Okay, so I did partisans. 1 popped up in Yugoslavia, so the one that was destroyed got replaced with about the same strength partisan. That was it for that. U.S. entry added a few points to, I believe, Germany. Got 4, and Japan got 2, or something like that. Alright, production. So, the Germans produced 45, Lend-Lease 3 to Italy, had 2 cadre, so that ended up being 44. Started with 33 and spent 34. Some subs, some CAGs, some ships, some militia, some infantry. Japan produced 25, started with 16, and spent 27. Ships, and more ships. The Italians produced 14, started with 15, and spent 14. Remember, they didn't get to do a political option last turn. The Soviet Union, feeling like summer might be close, which is not good for them, produced 29, started with 22, and spent 31. That 29 included 3 Lend-Lease from Great Britain and 1 Lend-Lease from the United States of bill points. I've also subtracted it out of the respective countries' respective major powers totals. Okay, the Commonwealth, let's see, produced 24, got 4 Lend-Lease from the US, that's 25, sent 3 to the Soviet Union for a net of 25 rather, started with 7. The Soviet Union produced 24. I think I forgot their Lend-Lease. I think it's 28. 28. Started with 16 and spent 26. So that minus 10. China produced 3, had 1 cadre, started with 4, spent 3, and the Free French spent nothing. They have they're at minus 6. So I will get these on the production wheel and get this turn uploaded soon. And hey, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it. And I should have another turn probably within a week or so, maybe even sooner.